The Falken Wildpeak AT3WA looks tougher. The Yokohama Geolandar AT G015 promises better all-round balance. But once the testing starts, the tire with the more aggressive image does not dominate every category. Falken produces a crushing wet braking victory, but Yokohama fights back in snow braking, gravel, dry performance, tread wear rating, and even price. So, is Falken's wet road advantage enough to justify paying more? Or is Yokohama quietly the smarter soft all-terrain tire? Let's find out. The data source comes from the ADAC 2025 all-terrain tire test. In wet braking, this is not even close. From the same speed, the Yokohama needs 43.7 meters to stop, while the Falken stops in just 39.7 meters. That is a full 4 meters shorter or a massive 10% wet braking advantage for the Wildpeak AT3WA. 4 meters can easily represent the length of an entire vehicle. So, when the road is soaked and the emergency develops, the Falken gives you considerably more stopping margin. Falken also takes the aquaplaning results. The Yokohama loses grip at 94.4 km per hour, while the Falken holds on until 96.5 km per hour. That gives the AT3WA another 2% advantage. It is a smaller difference than braking results, but the pattern is obvious. If wet road safety is your number one priority, Falken has already made a very strong argument. But on snow, the battle becomes far less predictable. Under braking, Yokohama responds immediately. The Geolandar stops in 11.1 meters, while the Falken requires 11.4 meters. That gives the Yokohama a small 3% advantage. It may be 30 centimeters, but snow braking is one of those situations where every centimeter matters. However, Falken takes back the lead when accelerating. The Yokohama completes the traction run in 1.56 seconds, while the Falken does it in 1.51 seconds. That makes the Wildpeak AT3WA 3% stronger in snow traction. So, snow ends in a split decision. Yokohama stops slightly better, Falken gets moving slightly better. On gravel, the Yokohama completes the traction run in 3.32 seconds. The Falken requires 3.4 seconds. That gives the Geolandar G015 a 2% advantage. It is not a crushing win, but it's meaningful for drivers who regularly use plantation roads, construction routes, campsites, or like off-road trails. Despite Falken's more rugged personality, the Yokohama is actually the slightly stronger performer on loose gravel. The Yokohama continues its comeback on dry roads. The Geolandar stops in 46.1 meters, while the Falken requires 47.2 meters. That gives the Yokohama another 2% advantage. Again, the gap is not enormous, but Falken has lost the gravel traction and dry braking, while also trailing in snow braking. The tread wear ratings makes this case even hard to ignore. The Yokohama Geolandar AT G015 carries a UTQG tread wear rating of 600, while the Falken Wildpeak AT3WA is rated at 500. That gives Yokohama another 20% higher tread wear rating. Now, UTQG is not a guarantee mileage results, and ratings between manufacturers should always be interpreted carefully. But a 100-point difference is still substantial. Now comes the results that makes Yokohama case even stronger. In the tested 225/65 R17 size, the Yokohama Geolandar AT G015 costs €108, while the Falken Wildpeak AT3WA costs €113. That makes the Falken approximately 5% more expensive. €5 is not a huge difference for one tire, but across a full set, Falken costs more while offering a lower UTQG rating and weaker results in dry braking, gravel traction, and snow braking. In summary, the battle comes down to one major question. Do you want the strongest wet road safety or better balance overall package? The Falken Wildpeak AT3WA delivers the standout results of this entire comparison. Its 10% wet braking advantage is significant, and it also performs slightly better in aquaplaning resistance and snow traction. For drivers dealing with frequent heavy rain, the wet performance may be enough to justify the higher price. But the Yokohama Geolandar AT G015 wins more categories. It delivers better snow braking, stronger gravel traction, shorter dry braking, 20% higher UTQG tread wear rating, and a lower purchase price. So, from my perspective, the Falken is a more focused wet weather performer, but the Yokohama is a more convincing all-rounder.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.